Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to try to answer the question of should we be upgrading to the Galaxy Note 9 or should we really be considering the S9 Plus from 2018? Because the reality of the matter is, even though it was released earlier this year, the S9 Plus has a lot to offer. And not to say that the Note 9 is not great, of course has a very unique feature, but the reality is which device is the right one for you? Let's go ahead and try to answer that question. First thing I want to talk to you guys about is the specifications, but just to make sure that you see how close they are as far as that at least. They both run the Snapdragon 845, both have 6 gigs of RAM, although you have an option of an 8 gig version on the Note, but the more comparable price to each other is the 6 gig to each one of them. Now, this one starts at 64 gigs of internal storage, the Note starts at 128. Again, later in the year, the Note always had more storage to start with, so that's something you want to keep in mind. Although, considering the fact that both have an SD card in the top, really kind of circumvents the fact to say, look, this is really a big feature for me on the Note. It's nice to have, but 64 with an expandable storage is pretty much a head-to-head to when you have storage with expandability here on the Note 9. So I'm going to give them a little bit of an edge to the Note because it has a little bit more, but I don't feel like it's something that would sway me one way or another. The last thing I want to mention to you guys overall, as far as the aesthetics, again, both fingerprint sensors are on the bottom below the sensor. They learned that from last year's. And of course, the sensors on the back are pretty much identical to 12 megapixel sensors. Now, looking at the actual buttons, we have here on both actually the Bixby button as well as the volume rocker on the left, the symmetry. The blue tint did change slightly. They both have blue coloring, although they changed the blue at the end of the year. I think it's called an ocean blue now. We have a power button on the right side, and that's pretty much mirrored on the other end. When we look at the devices, you'll notice there's a taller aspect to this. So if we put them down, we'll look at it. We are looking at a 6.4-inch display as opposed to a 6.2-inch display. But it's not just that, it's also the aesthetics of the device. You'll notice right away, this is more boxy than it is more long here on the S9 Plus. Both have obviously a longer aspect ratio to make it more hand-friendly, so we're definitely going longer on the device, but I feel like the S9 Plus still has that nice, more comfortable feeling in the hand. It's thinner, it still gives us a massive display. 6.2-inch display is actually pretty big. Let's go ahead and unlock the screen here, or actually just turn on the screen real quick. And you'll see the display itself, I mean, we're not really getting a lot of big difference here, but we're definitely getting a bigger display. So the Note 9 definitely has a slightly bigger display, but again, 6.2 inches, they're both above 6. They're both great panels, very similar as far as the spec, as far as the panel itself. And at the bottom, of course, we start seeing some of the main differences that we get here. We both have, on both of them, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack with Dolby configurations inside. We have USB-C for data and transfer, as well as quick charge, adaptive quick charging, which is really quick charge 2.0. A microphone, we have a bottom firing speaker here, a bottom firing speaker as well, both supporting stereo speakers in the format of being able to do the mids and lows on the bottom firing speaker and the highs coming out of the earpiece, emulating a stereo implementation, which we've seen in many devices within the recent years. And the last feature that we have here on the Note 9 that we do not have on the S9 Plus is truly this. This is going to be the #1 feature, so this is the reason why people buy the Note, because the Note 9 has the S Pen. And that's something that the S9 Plus cannot use, because the reality of the matter is, this only works on Wacom-based displays. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys why I feel like, unless you really need this, this is going to be the device that you want to get it this year. This is not going to have enough features over the S9 Plus for it to even justify that $1,000 plus price tag, where you can pick up an S9 Plus right now for $740 unlocked. Talking about performance and day-to-day activity, they both have the side panel on the UI, so you have the ability of customizing it here. Let's go ahead and bring it in. Both support the Good Lock application, and if you haven't seen my video on this, please check it out. The link will be in the description. But this is by far the best way to customize your Android device, specifically when it comes to Samsung, because this is actually designed for Samsung devices. I mean, your normal Samsung device, if you unbox it right now, does not have your Recents app functioning the way this one does not work in this way, doesn't have the ability of opening up applications directly into pop-up mode. That's something that you probably don't even have on your device. The cameras on these are going to be ridiculously well built. The UI is pretty much the same, although we lost a functionality. I don't know why food did kind of disappear from here, but we still have the ability of doing live focus, panorama, we have pro mode, auto mode, super slow-mo, and we also have, as far as I remember, AR emojis that are basically built into both of these guys. looks really nice, works the same way. Overall, what we're getting here again is same modes, same functionalities. So what makes the Note 9 better than the S9 Plus? And it really doesn't make it better, but it makes it different. So the S Pen is something that has been unique to the Note line ever since the Note line first came out. New tricks that we've had this year obviously is the ability of using Bluetooth. So I open up the camera, I can actually double tap, switch between the selfie camera, the back facing camera, and then if I want to take a picture, I can just open up to the selfie one more time, give a thumbs up, and snap that picture, and then we can see that picture. So we have new functionalities here. We have the ability of basically adding text, snapping pictures, doing custom cuts, signing documents. These are things that are more business-oriented, specific ones. Not to say that you couldn't do these things on the S9 Plus. It's just, it's a lot easier and more functional using the S Pen. So that's one of the main reasons why we're getting this $1,000 plus price tag. Because when you remove this and the 2 additional inches that we have at the top, they're really a lot closer than you think. You have stereo speakers. You're getting the same experience on both. Both support basically an 18.5:9 aspect ratio, a little bit more boxy on this end. I think what you're looking at the devices as far as performance, we're really looking at very, very close specs. Difference is $740, $1,000. Starting price is $1,000. Unlocked, locked, carrier version, whatever version, $1,000. So for $260 less, you're going to be getting a really kick-ass display, a kick-ass device, strong specifications, great sound, headphone jack, wireless charging, all the same things that you're getting here with the exception of this guy. The reality is a 2 additional inches on the display, an S Pen, and 64 gigs of internal storage is what makes this device $1,000 or $260 more. Yes, at the beginning of the year, this device did not come in at $740, but it wasn't at $1,000, and it still is a kick-ass device. Now, as far as software upgradability, the reality of the matter is both of these devices will get the update. Is it likely that the Note 9 will get it first? Yes. Does it mean the S9 Plus won't get it? No. Both are 2018 flagship devices. Both will get updated to Android Pie once that availability is there and Samsung's able to push it out. Keep in mind, if you have an unlocked version of any of these devices, you'll get that update faster, as both of these versions are T-Mobile, so they're going to need to wait till T-Mobile authorizes that update and pushes it out. When considering both of these devices, the reality is there are only a few things that make them different from each other. And I use the word different here because I'm not going to say one is better than the other. Both of them are pretty much very close when it comes to specifications, with the exception of the screen size and bigger battery. But that's something to be expected. The Note's always known to have a bigger battery, but the fact of the matter is, the S Pen is something unique to the Note. If you're coming into this saying, I love my S Pen, it's not a conversation anymore. The Note is the only device you can go with because you can't really take that S Pen and move it over to the S9 Plus. You can get other options, but it's never going to work the same way as the S Pen works with the Note 9. But if you're coming into this with just wanting to get the best phone that Samsung has made in 2018, I still think the S9 Plus has a very good fighting chance in making it and basically proving to you that it is the better phone between the two. Portability, functionality, you're getting pretty much almost all of the same benefits that you had there. Great audio quality, wireless charging, fast wireless charging, great cameras in the back, great camera in the front, great wide selfies. Overall, like again, if I go through all of the specifications that make the Note 9 special, the S9 Plus is like all of them minus 3. And again, like I said, smaller battery, that's not something we can really control, but the fact of the matter is, the S9 Plus is a workhorse. It'll last you all day and it'll still carry you to the next day, depending on your usage. As far as the 6.4 to the 6.2, that's a personal preference. Do you want more boxy design or do you want more thin, easier to handle design? The ability to be able to basically have 128 gigs of built-in storage. We have an expandable SD card. I have not once had an issue with a 64 gig device with an SD card that I can put in a 256 SD card and just dump all my media on it. No problem, none whatsoever. So at the end of 2018, I say this to you. If you're considering a new device and the S Pen is not a factor, I think the S9 Plus should be the device you go for. I think both are great devices from Samsung. $740 right now is still a great deal. You are going to get the same updates as the Note 9. The reality is Android Pie will come to both of them. So you're not going to lose. I think the Note 9 is a great device if you want those features. But if the S Pen and the bigger display is not something that you're looking for, the S9 Plus it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. And if you haven't entered yet, there is still a slight chance by the end of today, the 27th of August in 2018, to be able to enter for the giveaway for the OnePlus 6 as well as the PH1 from Jordan Keys and Juan Carlos Bagnell, just to kind of be able to get into that giveaway. Other than that, thank you very much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.